What if I told you that the way you've been walking your entire life could actually be making your body weaker? It sounds unbelievable, but millions of people spend hours every week walking for their health, while unknowingly putting the same stress on the same joints, over and over, every single day. Even more surprising, the exercise most people believe is protecting their brain may not be challenging it at all. Now, before you panic and swear off walking forever, let me explain. Because today, I'm going to show you one unusual walking technique that's becoming increasingly popular among physical therapists, athletes, and fitness experts, not because it's trendy, but because it challenges your body in a completely different way. Some people say it improves balance. Others say it strengthens muscles they didn't even know were weak. And many report that it makes them feel more coordinated and confident as they get older. But there's a catch. If you rush into it, or do it the wrong way, you could easily lose your balance and get injured. That's why, in this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it safely, who should avoid it, and how to build up to it step by step. And before the end of this video, I'll reveal the simple 10-minute routine that could completely change the way you think about walking forever. Let's begin. ### the walking myth. For decades we've heard the same advice. Just walk more. 10,000 steps a day. Walk around the neighborhood. Walk on the treadmill. Walk around the mall. And don't get me wrong. Walking is one of the best forms of exercise available. It's free. Low impact. Accessible to almost everyone. It supports heart health, helps manage blood sugar, improves mood, and can even reduce the risk of many chronic diseases. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Are all steps created equal? Imagine practicing the exact same piano key 10,000 times. Would you become a great pianist? Of course not. Your brain grows when it's challenged, not when it's repeating something it already knows perfectly. The same principle applies to movement. If every single step you take is identical, same sidewalk, same shoes, same pace, same predictable surface, your body becomes incredibly efficient at doing exactly that, and nothing more. Efficiency sounds like a good thing. But there's a downside. When movement becomes automatic, your brain has to work less. Your muscles begin sharing less of the workload. And over time, some of the muscles responsible for balance, stability, and coordination may become less engaged during everyday walking. ### Your body was never designed for perfectly flat ground. Think about our ancestors for a moment. For thousands of years, people rarely walked on perfectly smooth surfaces. They crossed forests, rocky trails, grasslands, riverbanks, sand, mud, tree roots. Every few steps brought a new challenge. Every uneven surface forced the body to make tiny adjustments. The ankles stabilized. The hips reacted. The core tightened. The eyes constantly scanned the terrain. And the brain coordinated it all in fractions of a second. Fast forward to today. Most of us spend our lives on concrete, tile floors, carpet, perfectly flat sidewalks, or treadmills that move at the exact same speed every second. Our environment has become incredibly predictable. Convenient? Absolutely. Challenging? Not really. And that's an important distinction. Because your body adapts to the challenges you give it. If life becomes more predictable, movement often becomes more predictable too. ### Your brain loves challenges. Here's something fascinating that most people never hear. The part of your brain called the cerebellum plays a major role in coordinating movement, balance, posture, and precision. Every time you reach for a cup, step over a curb, catch yourself from tripping, or walk across uneven ground, This area is constantly helping your body make incredibly fast adjustments. Researchers have found that learning new movement patterns can stimulate the brain in ways that repetitive movement often doesn't. That's one reason activities like dancing, martial arts, racket sports, and balance training are associated with improvements in coordination and cognitive function. Your brain thrives on novelty. When something is new, unexpected, or slightly challenging, your nervous system becomes more engaged. It pays attention. It adapts. It learns. Now compare that with walking the exact same route you've walked for the last 10 years. Your brain already knows every step. It's almost on autopilot. That doesn't mean walking is useless. Far from it. It simply means there may be ways to make walking even more beneficial. And that's exactly where today's unusual technique comes in. ### the hidden problem most people never notice. Have you ever caught yourself shuffling instead of taking full steps? Maybe climbing stairs feels harder than it used to. Maybe getting out of a chair requires a little extra effort. Or perhaps your balance doesn't feel quite as steady. These changes often happen so gradually that people barely notice them. They assume it's simply getting older. But in many cases, something else is happening. Certain muscles become stronger. Others become weaker. Some become tight. Others stop contributing as much as they should. Over time, your body begins relying on the same movement patterns every single day. And eventually those patterns become habits. Not necessarily because they're the best way to move, but because they're the easiest. The result? Less stability. Less coordination. Less confidence. Especially when you're forced into situations your body isn't prepared for. Like stepping onto uneven ground. Walking across wet grass. Or catching yourself after a small stumble. That's when balance matters most. ### a strange walking method that's turning heads. Now here's where things get interesting. What if changing just one direction? One simple movement could challenge your muscles and your brain in an entirely different way? It sounds almost too simple. Yet this unusual walking style has been attracting attention from physical therapists, rehabilitation specialists, and athletes for years. Some use it to improve balance. Others use it during recovery programs under professional supervision. Athletes often include it to develop coordination and strengthen muscles that don't receive as much attention during normal walking. And despite looking unusual, there's a growing body of research exploring its potential benefits. So what is it? Walking backward. Yes. Backward. It might sound strange. It might even look a little funny. But once you understand what's happening inside your body when you reverse a movement you've repeated millions of times, everything starts to make sense. In the next part, you'll discover why walking backward changes the way your muscles work, how it challenges your brain differently from normal walking, and most importantly, how to do it safely without putting yourself at unnecessary risk. Because one small mistake can turn this powerful exercise into a dangerous one. And that's something you'll definitely want to avoid. So, why does something as simple as turning around and walking backward feel so awkward? The answer lies in one incredible fact. Your brain is a prediction machine. Every second of every day, it predicts where your feet will land, how your muscles should move, and how much force to use with every step. After decades of walking forward, those predictions become almost automatic. Your nervous system has practiced that movement millions of times. Walking forward eventually becomes effortless. But the moment you turn around, everything changes. Suddenly your brain can no longer rely on its usual shortcuts. It has to slow down, pay attention, and communicate with your muscles in a completely different way. And that's exactly why many physical therapists use backward walking during rehabilitation programs. Not because it's magical. but because it forces the body to move differently. Your brain wakes up. Think about learning to drive a car. The first time behind the wheel, every action demands your attention. Mirrors, pedals, steering, traffic. Your brain is working overtime. Now think about driving after several years. You can often reach your destination and barely remember the drive because your brain has automated much of the process. Walking works the same way. The more familiar a movement becomes, the less conscious effort it requires. Backward walking interrupts that autopilot. Every step becomes intentional. You have to think about where your feet are landing. You naturally become more aware of your posture. Your balance systems become more engaged because you're doing something unfamiliar. This doesn't mean backward walking rewires your brain overnight. But it does provide your nervous system with a new movement challenge, and your brain generally responds well to learning new motor skills throughout life. Muscles that finally get a chance to work. Here's another fascinating benefit. When we walk forward every day, certain muscles often end up doing more work than others. Over time, many people develop weak glutes, tight hips, weak hamstrings, limited ankle mobility, poor posture. These aren't inevitable signs of aging. Often they're signs of repetitive movement patterns. When you walk backward, your body recruits muscles differently. Your glutes help control each step. Your hamstrings contribute in a different way than during normal walking. Your calves and ankles constantly adjust to keep you stable. Even your core has to stay more engaged because your body is trying to maintain balance without seeing exactly where your feet are going. It's almost like giving your movement system a fresh workout without needing complicated gym equipment. Why balance is one of the best investments you can make. Most people don't think about balance until they lose it. A missed step, a slippery sidewalk, an unexpected curb. One small mistake can change someone's life. That's why balance training becomes increasingly important with age. The encouraging news is that balance isn't fixed. Like strength, it can improve with practice. Exercises that safely challenge stability can help your nervous system become more responsive. Backward walking is one example of this, but only when done carefully and in an appropriate environment. If you ever feel unsteady, dizzy, or unsafe, stop immediately and use support or seek guidance from a healthcare professional or physical therapist. Safety always comes first. The mistake that makes this exercise dangerous. Now let's address the biggest misconception. Some people hear about backward walking, then immediately head outside, find the steepest hill they can, and start walking backward. Please don't do that. That's exactly how people get hurt. The goal isn't to prove how brave you are. The goal is to gradually teach your brain a new movement pattern. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. You don't begin by racing downhill. You start somewhere safe. The same rule applies here. Your first sessions should be in a clear, obstacle-free area where you can easily stop if needed. Many people begin indoors, along a hallway, or outdoors on a smooth, open surface with someone nearby if extra support is needed. The objective is confidence, not speed. Progress beats intensity. Here's something interesting about the human body. It loves gradual progress. People often believe dramatic results require dramatic effort. But your nervous system usually learns best through repetition and consistency. Instead of trying to walk backward for 30 minutes on day 1, start with 1 or 2 minutes. Move slowly. Take small steps. Keep your posture tall. Allow your body to adapt. As you become more comfortable, you can gradually increase the time. Only after you're consistently stable should you consider trying slightly more varied surfaces, and only if you can do so safely. There is no prize for rushing. What about hills? This is where the internet often exaggerates. You'll hear people claim that backward hill walking is the secret to fixing every joint problem. Reality is more nuanced. Walking uphill naturally changes how your muscles work. Whether walking forward or backward, climbing a gentle incline increases the demand on your legs and hips. For some healthy individuals, this may provide an effective strengthening challenge. However, it also increases the balance demands. That's why backward walking on hills is not appropriate for everyone. If you have significant knee pain, poor balance, dizziness, recent injuries, or other medical concerns, consult your healthcare provider before attempting more advanced variations. The safest exercise is always the one you can perform consistently without unnecessary risk. Your feet matter more than you think. Let's talk about something most people ignore. Their shoes. Think about the connection between your body and the ground. Every step sends information from your feet to your brain. If your shoes are unstable, worn out, or inappropriate for the surface you're walking on, they can affect comfort, stability, and confidence. The right footwear depends on your individual needs and the terrain. Some people enjoy minimalist shoes. Others need more cushioning or support. There isn't one perfect shoe for everyone. The important thing is choosing footwear that allows you to move safely and comfortably while matching your experience level. This isn't about looking silly. Let's be honest. Walking backward in public can feel embarrassing. People might stare. Someone may even laugh. But remember this. Every healthy habit looked strange to someone at first. Stretching in the park. Running marathons. Standing desks. Cold plunges. They all seemed unusual before becoming common. Don't let embarrassment stop you from improving your health. Just make sure you're doing it somewhere safe. Coming up next. So now you know why backward walking challenges your brain differently. Why it recruits muscles in a new way. And why rushing into advanced versions can do more harm than good. But one big question remains. Exactly how should you do it? How many minutes? How often? Should you hold on to something? When should you progress? And what's the safest way to build this into a routine that takes only about 10 minutes? In the next part, I'll walk you through a simple step-by-step protocol, explain the most common mistakes people make, and show you how to get the benefits while minimizing the risks. Now that you understand why backward walking can challenge your body and brain in a different way, let's talk about the most important part. How to do it safely. Because this isn't one of those exercises where more is better. In fact, doing too much too soon is probably the biggest mistake people make. Your goal isn't to impress anyone. Your goal is to teach your body a new skill. And just like learning to play an instrument or ride a bike, your body learns best through patience and repetition. Step 1. Master the basics. Before you even think about hills or uneven ground, start somewhere simple. Find a flat, open area that's free of obstacles. Your backyard. A quiet park. An empty driveway. Or even a long hallway inside your home. Make sure there's nothing behind you that you could trip over. Stand tall. Relax your shoulders. Keep your head up instead of looking straight down. Take small, slow steps backward. There's no need to rush. At first, your movements may feel awkward. That's completely normal. Remember, your brain has spent decades practicing one direction. Now you're asking it to learn another. Give it time. If you ever feel unsteady, stop immediately and regain your balance before continuing. And if you have a history of falls, significant balance problems, dizziness, or certain medical conditions, talk with your healthcare provider or a physical therapist before trying backward walking. Safety always comes first. Step 2. Build confidence. Once you can comfortably walk backward on a flat surface for several minutes without feeling unstable, you're ready for the next stage. Gradually increase the amount of time. Don't jump from 2 minutes to 20. Small improvements are far more effective than occasional intense sessions. Many people find that practicing for about 5 to 10 minutes a few times each week is a manageable place to start, depending on their fitness level. Remember, consistency beats intensity. Every single time. Step 3. Add variety, carefully. As your confidence grows, you can begin introducing slightly different surfaces. Maybe a grassy field, a smooth dirt trail, or another stable outdoor area that isn't perfectly flat. Why? Because your body now has to make tiny adjustments with every step. Your ankles stabilize. Your hips react. Your core stays engaged. Your brain processes more information than it does during routine walking on a perfectly smooth sidewalk. But here's the key. The surface should challenge you, not scare you. If you feel like you're about to fall, the challenge is too great. Take a step back. Progress gradually. Step 4. The gentle hill. Only after you've mastered everything else should you consider trying a gentle incline. Notice I said gentle. Not steep. Not rocky. Not slippery. Just a small hill where you feel completely in control. Walking uphill naturally asks more from your legs and hips. Combined with backward walking, it creates a greater balance challenge. That's why this step is optional, not essential. If walking backward on flat ground already feels challenging, there's absolutely nothing wrong with staying there. The goal isn't to reach the hill. The goal is to become stronger, steadier, and more confident. What you may notice over time. Everyone responds differently, but many people report positive changes after practicing consistently. You may notice your movements feel smoother. You may feel more aware of your posture. You might find stairs feel a little easier. Your confidence on uneven ground may improve. And because you're learning a new motor skill, you may simply enjoy the feeling of challenging your brain in a fresh way. These improvements don't happen overnight. They're built one session at a time. Just like strength. Just like endurance. Just like any other skill worth learning. Don't forget the bigger picture. Here's something important. Backward walking isn't a magic solution. It won't erase years of inactivity. It won't cure arthritis. It won't replace strength training. And it certainly won't fix every health problem. Think of it as one useful tool among many. The healthiest people don't rely on a single habit. They combine several. Regular walking. Strength exercises. Quality sleep. Nutritious meals. Stress management. Social connection. And regular checkups with their healthcare provider. Each habit builds on the others. That's what creates lasting health. The habit that changes everything. Here's a challenge. For the next 2 weeks, set aside just 10 minutes. Find a safe place. Walk backward slowly. Focus on smooth, controlled steps. Pay attention to how your body feels. Don't worry about distance. Don't worry about speed. Just practice. Then compare how you feel after 2 weeks with how you felt on day 1. Sometimes the smallest changes produce the biggest results, not because they're dramatic, but because you actually stick with them. And consistency has always been the real secret to better health. Final thoughts. It's easy to believe that improving your health requires expensive equipment, complicated workout plans, or hours in the gym. But sometimes, the biggest difference comes from changing something you've done the same way your entire life. Walking is one of the most natural movements we have. By introducing safe, gradual variation into that movement, you challenge your body and your brain in ways that routine walking may not. That doesn't mean everyone should walk backward. It doesn't mean it's superior to every other exercise. But for many people, it can be a valuable addition to an overall fitness routine when performed carefully and progressively. The key is to respect your body's limits. Move with intention. Progress slowly. And never sacrifice safety for speed. Because the healthiest body isn't the one that moves the fastest. It's the one that keeps moving for years to come. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Would you ever try walking backward? Or have you already tried it? I'd love to hear about your experience. And if you enjoy evidence-based health tips that are practical, simple, and designed to help you stay active as you age, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next guide. Thanks for watching. Stay active, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.